I feel more poor right now than I did with my starting salary in 2012.
The Japanese are still like UI toward the white person.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. This is Yo Japan. So today, I'm out on the streets of Tokyo asking foreign residents what's it like living in Japan for over the decade. So let's find out. And I'm currently running a tour guide service in Tokyo. So if you are interested in seeing a side of Japan that's how to find on your own, please check the link in the description below or in my Instagram bio. Okay, let's go. Could you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alex, and I've been living in Japan for 12 years. Nice to meet you. Oh, I'm an American.
So you've been here for 12 years, right?
Yes.
Then you came here 2012,
Yes.
right? So what was Japan like 2012?
Oh, it was the same in many ways, but it was also different in many ways. I guess the most thing that changed is now that we have smartphones, and back in 2012 they were just coming out, so there was no Google Translate, no any of those apps. So right now the communication is much easier having, Google Translate on you, so you can communicate better with Japanese people, with authorities like police or like train stations. And other thing that's changed is the value of yen. Of course, everybody thinks the same thing. In 2012, even though things were more expensive in Japan, it's still being paid in yen. It kind of matched the prices. So I actually had enough money, even on a starter salary, to pay my rent, to enjoy my life, and to actually send money to my mom here and there. But yeah, now it's a bit different, I guess. So
Okay, so because the yen is too weak, that's why you're kind of like struggling with
yeah,
living in Japan.
yeah.
So what's one thing that hasn't changed in Japan since 2012?
I guess the culture, the people, even though people are trying to speak English more these days, I mean, like yo, but yeah, it still hasn't really changed. And you still would need Google Translate, and you would still need to try to communicate in Japanese as much as you can. And also, what I've noticed, even before COVID or after COVID, the hours, the way the companies work, hasn't really changed much. Even during COVID, we've had like remote work kind of thing, but now that it's back, even during remote work kind of days, the hours haven't really changed. So it's always, I notice when I go to work, it's light outside, and then I work all day and it's already dark. So I feel like some days I don't see the sunlight at all.
Really?
So yeah. And also, what I love about Japan that doesn't change is, the culture, the festivals, the outfits, the yukata, everything, and the traditions. I guess the traditions. I absolutely love that.
What's the pros and cons of living in Japan?
So for me, the biggest pro is safety and security. I feel really safe in Japan. As a woman, as a foreigner, just as a person, I feel like I can walk at night. The cons, I guess, is, it's a culture. Japan has such a long history, it's such a traditional culture. It's an island, that I know many people now probably watched Shogun, so they could understand a little bit better about how Japan was and how Japanese history was and the traditions. So for me, I think, like, even if you live 10 years or longer, there's lots of things that you still do not understand or do not know how to be around or act around. And I think it's one of the biggest cons to me. And of course, recently it's the yen.
Yeah.
The recent one is the yen. If you get paid in yen, no, that is the biggest con of my life. It's like the salary is higher than it was back in 2012, but it's lower because of yen.
Yeah, it's too weak.
I feel more poor right now than I did with my starting salary in 2012. And it's technically higher, but it's not. It's hard to explain, unless you like really look into the numbers, but like the number of yen is bigger in my salary, but my salary is lower. So it's been hard. So that's the biggest recent con in the culture. So
that's very crazy, right?
Yeah, I want to tell all the people who don't get paid in yen who are traveling in Japan, enjoy it while it lasts. I'm jealous.
Do you have any regrets living in Japan?
My only regret, I guess, is being far away from my family. So, when I moved to Japan, I was still in my early 20s. So my mom, my grandma, they were kind of still like in good health and kind of, youthful. But the longer I stay away, I mean, it's been 10 years, I can tell, my mom is getting older, my grandma, and I kind of miss them. I wish I was there to help them, to be closer to them. But I guess that's my only regret. Other than that, no regret.
Okay.
I hope yen goes up.
True.
Come back yen.
So lastly, could you introduce yourself in Japanese?
はじめまして、アメリカ人のアレックスです。日本が大好きです。よろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございました。Could you introduce your background?
Yeah, sure. I'm a Lebanese born French, so I have a French passport and Lebanese passport. I was born in Lebanon, but in 1975, the Lebanese war started. So in 1976, I arrived to Paris and I came to live in Japan in 1995.
How has Japan changed since 1995?
Every single country in the whole world, everywhere things change. We had very few foreigners, and now there's a huge number of foreigners.
Do you think having a lot of foreigners in Japan is a good thing?
Everything is good and bad. For a good thing, now Japan is much more open. They don't have that wall toward the foreigners. Yeah, it's good.
How about the bad thing?
Maybe not the people who are living, but more about the tourists. When you go to another country as a tourist, you have also to respect the other people, tradition, way of living. Did you hear about that lady? She climbed on the Hachiko.
No.
She's crazy or what? She climbed and sat on the Hachiko.
Oh, really?
Yes, you're making people hate foreigners. It's not only Japan, it's wherever you go, you have to respect the other people culture, right?
What's something people need to know if they want to live in Japan for such a long time?
What you have to know if you want to live here in Japan, it's not paradise. You have, of course, bad things, but also good things.
All right.
Everywhere, the same thing. So don't criticize. Now I was watching YouTube and Instagram, Arab speaking country person living in Korea, and she was criticizing Korea. Korea is not paradise either. Every single country is good and bad. No, there's no paradise. If you want to live, you have to adapt. You have to accept. And you have to make the effort.
All right.
Not them. So if you make the one step effort to go toward them, they will make one step effort to come to you. And like this, you meet. So, 頑張るしかない.
You think each country has pros and cons, of course, right?
Yes.
So what's the cons of living in Japan?
The Japanese are still like UI toward the white person.
Okay.
Okay, so I remember I applied many times to become a teacher of French. I studied in France. I lived for 18 years, but they won't accept me because I'm not whitey.
Because you are not white, so
Yes.
they didn't accept you.
No.
Really?
They took a Swedish guy who spoke some French, but didn't take me because I'm not pure.
Okay, so your French, I don't know, like might be better than him, right?
Well, I lived 18 years in
Okay.
France and went to high school, junior high school, university, and the Swedish guy went for holidays in France.
So white people still have white privilege here in Japan. There's huge white privilege, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, still, yeah, it's changing a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah, still,
Okay.
the 白人、弱いイメージはまだ残ってる。
So lastly, could you introduce yourself in Japanese?
はい、俺はレバノン生まれフランス育ち、メックダシカリロと申します。64歳です。よろしくお願いいたします。
ありがとうございます。ありがとうございました。Thanks for watching up until now. How was it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Anyway, I hope you appreciated this video. And if you did, please subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to like this video. Okay, see you next time.